real estate is also affecting everything. Like the fact that there's less movement in the market is affecting houses going up. The transactions of supplies, metal, steel, concrete, all that is affected in real estate. So it's all a vicious cycle and it's all connected. Also, the markets, let's say Amazon, the markets, everything's connected. It's all interconnected.
Hey there, I am Dr. Jason Balara, and this is the Know Your Why podcast, where we explore the why behind success. Every week, I meet with real estate investors, veterinary entrepreneurs, mindset coaches, authors, and fitness professionals to uncover their why and how it drives them on the winding road to success. What is your why? Hi, everyone. I am Jason Balara, and this is the Know Your Why podcast. Today, I'm here with Esther Reizes-Lowenbein. She's redefined the face of real estate by offering professional and on-demand service. Esther services the commercial real estate market as a realtor, investor, and syndicator fund manager. So, Esther, like I said, I'm going to let you tell your story, but first, I'll just say thank you for being here today. Thanks for taking the time out to come on the show. I'm very excited to get to chat.
Thank you. Thanks for having me. My name is Esther.
Absolutely.
I call myself Esther the Investor and your capital connector. I raise money and I raise kids. That's my tagline. I started my professional career started as a speech language pathologist. I got my master's, started practicing, did that for about 10 years. I still have my license currently, not practicing since I got into real estate about 7.5, closer to eight years ago. Sorry about that. Closer to 8 years ago, I got involved in real estate, and I switched over for several reasons. I'm an extrovert, and I like meeting people, getting to know people. So I'm like, what can I do that I can enjoy and make money from at the same time? There were other reasons as well. I had moved from Brooklyn to Rockland County, New York. The system of speech therapy was different there. And to top it off, my son was born at the time with a speech related issue. And once I was sort of finished dealing with him, I couldn't go back for the time being. I still kind of want to go back, to do a few cases here and there because I enjoyed it. But I love real estate. It's my passion. And I started as a broker in the space. And then I got involved in equity when one of my clients asked me for equity. That kind of threw me into the game. And then I challenged myself to raise money through a fund. Now I'm doing only co-GP JV raising, where I connect sponsors together. I connect co-GP JV sponsors together. And we've, invested in some properties. And I always invested alongside my investors, put my money where my mouth is, tried to be as transparent as possible. And, we're riding the tide of the ups and downs of the market.
Yeah. Yes, there certainly have been some, especially if you've been doing it for 8 years, the ups and downs. You had up and then down. So it's been a tricky time, but we'll definitely talk about some of that experience through there. Your tagline, I raise money and I raise kids, which is harder?
Depends on the day.
Yeah.
I have, thank God, a lot of children. My youngest is 6 and my oldest is 19. So we've got some teenagers in the mix, and we have some younger ones that act like teenagers. So, depends on the day and depends on how much coffee mama had.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, my daughter is about to turn 4 and she seems like a teenager already. So I can imagine we've got a long road ahead of us. So I completely,
Yes. When the youngest one is
completely
like
understand that.
telling me how to dress and what to do, what I didn't do, what I did, it's getting there.
Funny. Well, so you said you started as a realtor when so speech therapist, but then got your real estate license. I mean, what made you decide to do that when you already had a very impactful career path going for you? What made you decide to add real estate?
to add another license to keep up with, right?
Yeah.
I have a lot of CEUs to every year. Thank
Yeah.
God. It takes me like a week just every year just to keep up with CEUs. What made me do that? Yes, like I said, I had my son was born with speech related issues, and he had a tracheostomy, he had a G tube. We worked on the feeding, like literally, like everything I learned, God prepared me through my career, and maybe that was my mission,
Yeah.
like to be able to service my son and help him. Um, we never know. Like so they say, like God prepares the healing before the disease or the plague. So I guess God prepared my path before my son was born, and that was my sixth child. He was born with all these issues. It was very challenging, and at the same time, we moved from Brooklyn County to Rockland County, where the speech therapy system was different. So it was a lot harder to work over here,
Okay.
and that kind of like catapulted me into trying something out. I kind of started it as a fun thing, as a
Yeah.
hobby, and it kind of took off. So I continued.
Yeah. 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 I would imagine. I mean, I do. I think. I mean, one of the things that we talk about a lot on this podcast, and that's sort of a passion of mine, is just time freedom, right? So, and we talk a lot about financial freedom being a component of that, but time freedom. And so, I would imagine maybe you had a bit more flexible schedule with transitioning from to be a realtor. I wouldn't say necessarily less time working, but maybe a little bit more control of when that time was working. I'm guessing.
Probably that's a good way of putting it. Yeah, more control of when, but there's the time. You think you're doing it for time purpose. No, real estate's like a 24. Oh well, I don't work on Saturday, so it's
Yeah.
a 24/6 a day for me. In between the kids, around the kids, I go to sleep. Like I'm sending emails sometimes at 2 in the morning because I'm working around the kids, and you got to work nonstop. It's nonstop between networking and sending out emails, running deals, constantly hustling and going and doing. There's no stopping. If anyone's thinking of getting into real estate for more quiet time, don't do it. Yeah, I work a lot around the kids. This is
Yeah.
my
Yeah.
this is my hobby. This is my fun. This is my fun in between the kids. Um, yeah, it's definitely all around the clock.
Yeah. So from realtor, then you had a client who wanted you to invest in something that they were buying. Is that kind of how that worked? That's a and maybe I don't know if that happens a lot in the world of realtors, but is that something that you would say was unique?
So I was in the brokerage space, and a client asked me to help him find an investor for a deal that I had sold him. So I was like,
Okay.
I knew nothing about equity at the time. Like I was brand new into, when I got into real estate, I didn't know anything either. Like I had to learn everything. And when we
Yeah.
bought our house, my husband took care of everything. Like I had no idea of any of the terms. When I got involved in real estate, I had to like learn everything. When a client asked me for equity, I didn't know much about it. I was fairly new in the brokerage space as well. And he asked me for equity. So at the time I was like, I made a little money. I'll do the guy a favor. I'll try to find him an investor. So it started as like me
Mhm.
just trying to help him out, like why not? So that threw me into the whole equity game. I realized like it's a whole business of its own. And, that was actually I found him an investor within 2 phone calls, and that never happened again. But I guess that was meant to be because it helped me get into the business, and it helped me realize the whole business and learn about it. And yeah, it's been. I think I started raising equity about COVID time and connecting people, co-GPs, JVs, and then I challenged myself to start a fund as well. So yeah, that's been my ride.
Yeah. The so going from effectively that almost I mean people talk a lot about being sort of an accidental landlord. you were an accidental equity investor, sort of
Yeah,
fortuitously introduced to that opportunity, and I mean it's
sure.
funny because once you get in the space, like it's what's talked about all the time, right? It's like, oh, we're raising, whether it's through syndication or private money lenders or whatever. The reality is that
Yeah.
there's um, a lot of opportunity as a investor, large, small, whatever, to get involved in real estate in some way. So that as you moved from that initial piece, kind of then you got into syndication. You said you started raising equity in 2020. Um, Talk about that transition because I think obviously COVID happened. There was a relatively brief, I guess, kind of downturn right there, but then actually the real estate market got pretty hot. So maybe talk about some of your experiences during that phase, and then we'll get into maybe the 2022 and beyond.
So actually, COVID for me was a blessing. It was like the silver lining because I guess everything was on Zoom and it enabled me to speak to so many more people in a day. And everyone was like locked in. So for me,
Yeah.
that's when things picked up during COVID. And I had a lot of success initially, and things moved very quickly. It slowed down like about 3 years ago when the interest rates started rising. So it
Yeah.
slowed down significantly. So I had a nice, short, good run. It's still going. I'm still brokering deals, but definitely not with the same, speed or the same momentum that I was at then. I still work a lot. I still try, but definitely not the same results as before.
Mhm.
But we got to keep on trying. So yeah, so COVID for me was definitely a blessing, and I just ride with it. The good, whatever comes with it. It's the slowdown has given me other opportunities to work on things that I haven't done before, things that I wanted to do. Got involved in some other stuff as well. So I just try to ride the tide. That's the best we can do. Just keep on going.
Yeah. No, I think that's a great point. You don't just stop. I think when I've heard it said that sort of raising capital. I mean, realistically, raising capital, maybe 2021 and early 2022 was perhaps as easy as it's ever been in the sense that we had COVID had introduced us all to virtual meetings, so it wasn't you didn't have to get sort of in a room with every single investor, every single
Right.
potential investor, and then you have um, extremely hot and successful real estate market. So it people wanted to get in, and then and then 2022 came, and we had a dramatic shift in interest rates, which definitely changed that landscape. And so I've heard people talk about what you need to work four times as hard to raise the same amount of capital. That it was just uh,
Yeah.
been a big shift for a number of reasons. Some of it's fear, but some of it's just people have their invested capital is kind of locked up in deals that happened prior to, and so there's many reasons in the
Yeah.
space. But um,
Yeah.
what do you feel is working now? I guess I don't know if you have a particular asset classes or strategies that you think are most valuable right now, but also what do you feel is working in terms of maybe just the equity raise portion?
So I feel like some more deals are coming on just about now. Like I recently, like literally the last 2, 3 weeks, got more requests than I have in a while. Um, I'm seeing more retail deals that we're raising for. A lot of like different kinds of deals. Let's say like HUD, like project-based affordable housing deals, mobile homes, such stuff. Conventional multi has been extremely challenging. I'm also working with a group now that's raising for new development, but they have a niche, like in a specific area, and they know the area really well, and they get their products really cheap, and they're doing really well. They've been doing really well for 20 something years. So, and they're just expanding and expanding. So, if someone has a really good track record and they found their niche in a specific place, then things are working for them. It's always, you'll always find those people that are, they're just doing good at what they've been doing continuously. But it's
Yeah.
definitely slowed down, and conventional multi is challenging more than before to race for, at least on my end. But people are still doing stuff like at a different level, and we're still working. I still, attempt any opportunity that comes my way. It's just more success with others right now.
Yeah. I think, I mean, I agree. I think it's harder now for probably everyone, but I do think that doesn't mean that there aren't opportunities. I think that the challenge is just in getting creative and
Yeah,
being maybe looking outside of, as you said, conventional multifamily is tough right now. I mean, you can still find deals. It's possible, but it's just maybe what it is it's slower. I think in a lot of ways it's
yeah,
like 2021
yeah,
people were closing 8 deals in a year or something like that, which is kind of
yeah,
probably realistically also not the norm. That's a in excess, and so it's kind of we've had a regression to what's normal, but probably even a little bit below. It'll all even itself out eventually. But yeah, I think
yeah,
getting getting creative in deal structure, getting creative in asset classes, and just continuing to look for opportunities. They're going to show up, and it's if you would if you are to consider that we're somewhere near the bottom of a market cycle now, which maybe we passed it, maybe we're at it now, maybe it's in 6 months, who knows? But like realistically, we've come down from that high quite a bit. It's the interesting thing is actually for those reasons a very good time to invest if you can find the right deal with the right operator and just have
yeah.
really looking at safety. I think is the big thing is looking at safety in your deal structure. Whether that's lower leverage or whatever it might
And
be.
yeah, my hope that for people that are getting into the cycle, I always tell people that come to me like they want to get in real estate. I say now is a very good time to learn. Even if the
Mhm.
market's a little slow, now is a good time to observe people, watch people, learn from their mistakes. Learn also. There's so many people that anyone that would go into another deal now, as many questions as they asked before, they would ask a million more now. So
Right.
know what to
Right.
ask, know what questions to get involved. Know what deals to get involved with. Learn your markets better, figure out your niche better. So now is like a time to also just hone in on your skills and just observe and learn and grow.
Yeah. Yeah. I think that's a fantastic point. There's this was a while back, but I had another guest on the podcast that had kind of the same thing in that same message in that when markets are hot, you're very much focused on just doing and trying to take advantage of that and all of this. When things are slow, now, like you said, it's your time to learn. It's your time to put your systems in place. It's basically a really great prep time for to let you be ready when more opportunities come available because they will. It's just happening a lot slower, and so it's just kind of
Right.
finding a way to prep for that and be ready to kind of turn it into another high gear when the time comes. And so I think, yeah, you're
Exactly.
the point about asking a lot of questions. Investors are, I think operators are also being a lot more discerning in the deals that they're looking at, and
Mm.
it's good in the sense that we should be learning from what has happened over these last couple of years, and it's hopefully we don't have another pandemic anytime soon. Hopefully we don't have tremendous inflation like we did. I mean, there was a lot of things that kind of came together almost really like in a once in a lifetime type of scenario. But that doesn't mean we should just chalk it up to it'll never happen again. Like learning from those things and preparedness, I think can be um, really helpful to having success in the long term. And it, it's been pretty eye opening to interview some of the investors that had been like they had been through the 2008 crash, and then when this all came around, they're they sold everything instead of buying everything, and now are like, yeah, we just kind of saw how hot the market was and realized it was probably time to take a pause. And so now it's like those of us in this time frame can use these same lessons going forward, and have a lot of if you're willing to have a lot of the challenges that we faced be learning lessons.
Well said.
What do you see as your focus here? I know nobody has a crystal ball, but what do you think is going to be? I guess where do you see the recovery coming? Maybe over these next whatever it is, 12, 18 months, maybe longer. Where do you see that recovery shaping up?
Well, I'm happy that President Trump is in for this reason. He's a real estate guy. He knows the system. He knows the business. He's done this. He knows the game. So he understands the market. Even look at New York City, for example. The whole real estate has been super slow there. And most of the money that comes in from taxes coming from real estate. The governments need the markets to keep on moving, and real estate's also affecting everything. Like the fact that there's less movement in the market is affecting houses going up. The transactions of supplies, metal, steel, concrete, all that is affected in real estate. So it's all a vicious cycle and it's all connected. Also, the markets, let's say Amazon, the markets, everything's connected. It's all interconnected. So in order for when real estate's not great, so is everything else. It slows down together. Which one comes first? Who knows? But we need the market to start flowing again. We need the momentum to build for the individuals in real estate and around to have more success. More people need more cash flow to have more movement. So I think Trump being in office, he's a businessman. He's done this his whole life. So I'm hoping that things, he'll get it and he'll make some changes and movements and things will start moving again. So, that's all I could, see and hope for. But who knows what else is gonna happen? I just keep on trying. Like, I say, like, I make myself a vessel. I do my part, and then God does the rest. I do mine, and then let go and let God. So we could only try a certain amount, but we have to keep on trying. Can't like get complacent and let go, and just hope that things come in, or just give up. You have to keep on trying and keep on going and hope for the best.
Yeah, yeah, absolutely. Just we got to keep moving forward, and I think that it's interesting to see. Um, I'm not an economist, and this is going to be probably very very low level understanding, but it is interesting to see how um, dependent the economy seems to be on movement, like you said, that just that I mean, I guess it makes sense, but it's like, revenue is generated by things happening. And so when it gets stale and things are moving slowly, that does certainly create a lot of challenges that do trickle down across real estate and business and whatever else is going on. So yeah, it is an interesting kind of stale time. So we'll see what happens. Um,
Yeah.
Great. Well, let me, Esther. I want to switch gears. I want to make sure I ask you the questions I ask every guest. The first one is, of course, the name of the show is Know Your Why, and so I always ask everyone, what is your why? What's driving you? You've mentioned a couple times. We just got to keep moving forward and don't give up and that sort of thing. And I completely agree with you. And I think that um, there's typically a why behind that willingness to keep moving forward and not give up when things are hard. So um, I would love it if you talk a little bit about what your why is.
Well, in general, I'm just like an ambitious person, so I like to keep going, and thank God, I was given a high motivation to keep moving and working hard. But I have children to support as well, thank God. I have 8 beautiful children that are all in private school. So do the math. They're all in school right now. It's quite expensive. Life, demands a lot of money to keep moving. But also,
Yeah,
another why of mine is the more we have, the more we can give to others. Charity is a passion of mine. I love helping people. I love, doing what I can for the community, for the greater good. I have so many organizations that I support and want to support more. So that's definitely a big why of mine.
yeah. No, I think that is, yeah. I mean, 6 children is a lot. I have two, and that's a lot. So I, I can
Yeah,
only
I have eight,
imagine
eight children.
tripling.
Yeah,
That's a lot to take care of. So, um, but yeah, I mean, I think
four
that the
times. I have eight.
understanding. Yeah. Oh, okay. Yeah, that's unfathomable to me, but I'm sure at some point it just they can help with each other. Maybe that's my kids are just old enough now to maybe do a little bit of
Nice.
helping the other one. So I think maybe, but then again, then they have their own things they want to do. So it's fun times. Um,
Yeah.
but your point about just wanting to give back, give to charity, all of that, I do think that that's something that's really deep seated into a lot of highly motivated people. It's not usually just, oh, I just want piles of money for myself. It's I want to have an impact. I want to do something for the world around me and all of that. So I think that it's really notable and admirable to have that as kind of a goal ultimately. Um, what's so when people hear this and they want to connect with you, what's the best way for them to reach out?
I'm all over social media. I am on LinkedIn as Esther Reizes-Lowenbein. I am on Instagram as Esty Lowenbein. I'm on X as one of those. I don't remember offhand. I share my journey. I've been sharing a little less lately, but I still share my journey. And thank God, running a family and running a business. Sometimes it's fun to watch. So I think
Yeah,
so. Go check it out at your own risk. And happy to connect and help if I can.
yeah, and that you're still raising capital, so obviously if investors want to connect with you, that would be, should they just connect with you on social media?
Yeah. I I'm a little behind in my email messaging. I get so many messages a day, but reach out. I'm more than happy to help as soon as I get to my messages.
Okay,
Yeah.
perfect. Well, we'll make sure we have
I do it
that
all on my own. I
information.
have no robots that help answer or no PAs or or offsite people. So it's all me. So when I get there, it's all me. But I'm a little delayed right now.
Yeah. Well, there you go. You can put the children to work and have them start filtering through your messages and helping out with the business that way. That we get them
Yeah.
get them started early. Well, Esther, thank you so much for coming on the show. I appreciate your time. I appreciate what you shared with us. I think I love the message of just continuing to move forward even when there's some challenges. So thank you for being here today. I really appreciate it.
Thank you. Thanks for having me on.
Folks listening, make sure you connect with Esther, and we'll have her information in the show notes. And please like, rate, and review the show so we can continue to get more great guests. And as always, thank you so much for listening.
Hey there, I am Dr. Jason Balara, and this is the Know Your Why podcast, where we explore the why behind success. Every week, I meet with real estate investors, veterinary entrepreneurs, mindset coaches, authors, and fitness professionals to uncover their why and how it drives them on the winding road to success. What is your why?